find your lack of faith disturbing.
Gotcha!
Smashmouth Footballers. Introducing Nick Tate, Joe Caldero, Chad Young, Smashmouth Footballers.
Hey, welcome to Smashmouth Footballers. I'm Nick Tate.
Joe Caldero.
I'm the Cadillac.
And guys, we're piggybacking our last episode. Today we're going to go over running backs, top tiers.
Yeah, we're going to do 3 tiers. We're not going to go into the lower level tiers. You guys can figure that out as you draft in your fantasy football leagues. We're going to go pretty much half PPR.
Yeah, we'll go half PPR.
That way, standard leagues can get a little bit. PPR leagues can get a little bit. Dynasty can get a lot.
I mean, when you talk overall about drafting just for value and where you're going to get, it's hard to deviate from half PPR leagues because mostly includes everything else. I mean, if you have a personal question, whether you run a PPR or a best ball or something like that, you can go through this. And we do realize it's real early. Like OTAs just started. Like they may tier theirs differently. Mine's just based on 4 ceiling because I'm looking at best ball right now, specifically for me, where my rankings are. But every criteria is different, and we're just going to give you our opinions and how we play fantasy football.
Right. Even though Jamar Chase makes it very hard for me to stick to my 15-year.
Yeah, running
back, receiver. Jamar Chase makes it hard.
Yeah.
If I have the first pick, he makes it very hard. Yeah. But the running back has become so important again, which I love very much, and I'm looking forward to getting into this with you guys.
Yeah, we're going to have to we're going to have a different episode on strategies because it's changed a lot, and we're going to go into that in our wide receiver rankings. We're first going to kick things off with top 3 tier running backs, and y'all's consensus out there should be close to the same as ours.
Yeah. So you go to all these different websites, listen to the talking heads. Theirs are all the same.
Everyone's is the same, just about.
Just about. Mine is completely different.
What's fun about the tiers is that you're not looking at specifically 1 through 30, like how we rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But if you go tiers, you got a ballpark of what you're doing broad-wise upon in a draft. And like we said, it's really early, like OTAs, and you got to realize statistically, we don't know who's playing quarterbacks for a lot of these teams. So this changes. Like, look, Devin Achane, who I have as tier 2, whenever Tua didn't play, he was 28, 32 ranked running back a lot of fantasy weeks. And whenever Tua played, he was 4th, 8th. He had one outlier ranking, and that was 28.
It helps to have a very accurate quarterback.
Yeah, and these are all things that we're going to learn together.
That's like the Bucky Irving, the Rashard White effect.
Yep.
Bucky Irving would be way up there. But Rashard White gets a lot of carries.
Yeah, he catches the ball at the backfield. Yeah, so my tier 1, y'all can agree or disagree with me not. Okay, I have number 1, Bijan Robinson. I have number 2, Saquon Barkley. I have number 3, Jamir Gibbs. And because of the 4 ceiling, and I know I'm going to get banged and knocked out, and people are going to say things about this, but Christian McCaffrey is in my superior tier 1. Do y'all agree or disagree?
I thought you were going to go somewhere way different.
I see where you're coming from. But it's just one of those things, kind of like the quarterback issue. We don't know how good he's going to perform going into next year with injury. So if he performs like he did piggybacking prior to the injury, good chance he stays in the top 5.
Does he have any issues that he babysits, like the quarterbacks have done and the running backs have done in the past? Does he hit the ground running like Nick Chubb? Does he have an issue where he has to kind of slowly get back into a full share? We don't know.
But
when he's in there, he's one of the best.
Can we not argue that he's one of the top 3 to 4 talented running backs in the league?
Yes.
And that's a system that always runs the ball.
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco has the easiest schedule this year.
Right.
Okay. They've lost talent. Debo went to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So those little gadget plays, quick plays are not going to be there.
Ricky Pearsall's nothing.
He's also a catching running back, too.
And last year in the games he was healthy, 83% of the plays that he was involved in. I love McCaffrey going in. I like the value because best ball leagues, I think he's going somewhere between 6th to 11th. And if I can get him at 3 or 4, I'm taking that. And I'm going to say even half PPR, if I'm snaking and I got him at the end of round 1, 2, the beginning of round 2, I'll take run CMC all day.
I will not.
See?
But I'll explain that when I get to it.
Okay, so what's your top tier?
So my top tier, Saquon, 2,005 yards, 13 touchdowns, 278 catches, 2 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, that's last year.
They're not going to change that at all. I
disagree with you completely.
I think that Saquon is going to be the number 1. My number 2 is kind of like your CMC pick. I'm banking on Jonathan Taylor being number 2.
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor played 14 games, 1,431 yards, 11 touchdowns, 136 catches, 1 touchdown. The quarterback play is what I'm worried about with Jonathan Taylor. But when he's running, the dude is an animal. He only played 14 games, so if we add in 3 more games, we could probably look at 1,700 yards, 1,600 yards, and maybe 13 touchdowns. That's tier 1 all day long.
Okay.
Number 3 for me, and this was a toss-up. Bijan Robinson and Jonathan Taylor at the number 2 spot. Bijan is going to be their offense in Atlanta, 100%. 1,456 last year yards, 14 touchdowns, 431 catches, and 1 touchdown. He catches more this year, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And number 4, Jamir Gibbs. Don't even have to explain that one. That 14-12 rushing yards, 16 touchdowns, right? 517 catching yards, receiving yards.
Yeah, receiving yards, yeah.
And 4 touchdowns. And I think that dude elevates himself a little more this year. And my last guy, I got one more.
Oh, 5 in tier 1, okay. 5 elites.
Derrick Henry cannot be ignored.
He got paid.
Even though he's older.
He got paid.
Look what he did. Almost 2,000 yards, 1921. 16 rushing touchdowns. And he caught the ball a couple times.
Yep.
So, and he had two receiving touchdowns. So that's my tier 1.
You got tier 1.
Yeah, I got Saquon Barkley as number 1. I don't see the team changing their offense too much. So I think Saquon Barkley still gets as many touches as possible. I think that no one really has an answer to him yet. And I think going into next year, he's still the main focus of the team other than their push strategy and their outlier wide receivers. Next for me is going to be Jamir Gibbs. I don't see this team not relying on Jamir Gibbs. Detroit Lions relying on them as much as they did last year. I think David Montgomery is just getting older, so I think he takes less touches going into next year. I'm with Joe. Jonathan Taylor, number 3. I
love him.
End of the year last year, Jonathan Taylor was a number 1 running back, and I don't see how the Colts cannot take the strategy they had last year at the end of the season, winning games, and not focus on that. And of course, again, it goes back to their quarterback issue. They don't know who's going to play quarterback. They don't know how they're going to run their schemes. I mean, each quarterback has different talents, and we're going to have to see, probably early season who's going to win that position. Mm-hmm. After that, I think Bijan Robinson. I mean, that's Atlanta all day. They have made him the focal point of that team 100%. And then my last but not least, Derrick Henry. Reason is that boy got a touchdown every single game last year. He is what keeps Lamar Jackson healthy. I know that's what that coach wants to do. They want the quarterback never to get injured. They're going to try to reduce him running as much as possible. His game has gotten a lot better, so he's throwing. Mm. Why not give it to the old
reliable?
I mean, the Beetle, the Volkswagen car running down the road there every time. I mean, he is guaranteed goal line touches almost every game.
Yep. I went 5 in my top tier, my tier 1, and you went 5. And that just shows you how important the running back position has become.
I went 4, and I have some. Look, I know how great Saquon is, and he's in my number 1. But you realize he had almost like 300. He had over 350 touches last year. If he does that again this year, that's 700 touches on his body.
Yeah,
that is a career ender. That will end your career. 700 touches in two seasons. You've got to ease that workload, okay? And Jamir Gibbs, for instance, only had 250 rushing attempts, and in some platforms of fantasy, he only had 2 less fantasy points. So there is a world where you're seeing how much a receiving back gives you value. And that statistically is why Jamir Gibbs is up there. Like, I like Jamir Gibbs for the opposite reason I like Saquon, even though they're both just tremendously great talents.
Right.
Yeah. And that's why I only have 4. Now, my tier 2, I have Derrick Henry, and he got paid. So Baltimore loved what he did. They think he can continue to do it. I don't see why he couldn't. I mean, he had an 87-yard scamper for a touchdown last year. I mean, that's a big dude who's running. And, I mean, look, he's this old. He's not going to slow down. Even if he slows down, he's still amazing. My tier 2, and when I say tier 2, my tier 1 is just talent. They are the best of the best in the league. My tier 1 are your running back ones. Let's say you go with a wide receiver 1 strategy. You go with wide receiver 1 strategy. Come that next round, you better get one of these guys. If not, you better consider your league just about done. Yeah. Especially the way things have developed in fantasy football. So Derrick Henry is my number 1 in tier 2. I have to take him. I have to take Ashton Danty. I have to take him as my number 5. I love Ashton Danty going into this year. All the Raiders want to do is run the ball. They got a better quarterback over there. They're going to build the team around him. I think he can take it to the house anytime. Everything they're saying, he's rocked up and he's doing all the good in OTAs. Devin Achane, I know statistically it was a down year for him, but when Tua's playing, he's a star. When Tua's playing, he's a rock star. And Devin Achane, no matter where he is, on one play, he can get you a week 1 fantasy line. One play, anywhere on the field. He can get you 12 points on one play. Then I put Jonathan Taylor in this. What I'm worried about Jonathan Taylor is that quarterback situation that you've talked about, okay, that worries me because if it's Anthony Richardson, they may give him the ball 30 times. He may be running the ball 30 times. He was averaging there at the end of the year, doing his best work, 29 carries a game. That is unsustainable.
You got to think about how good Saquon Barkley was with Daniel Jones. So if Daniel Jones gets the job, I have no problem with Jonathan Taylor at all.
No,
being a top running back.
Yes, I'm completely on board with what you're saying. We know that Jonathan Taylor, as amazing as he has been injury prone, and I'm not planning on injuries or nothing like that. That's why he's in my tier 1. I have no problem if I get a CD Lamb and I come back and I get a Jonathan Taylor in the second round. I am happy about that draft. Okay, I am livid. I love that draft, but I do realize that this may be one of those years where he may be 29, 30 carries a game, and that's good for fantasy, but it's not good for his career. Because he was getting 29 carries there. He had 303 carries and he missed time last year. That's how much they depended on him.
Right.
He almost still rushed for 1,500 yards. Who doesn't want that? That's a RB1 in fantasy. Love him.
But Anthony Richardson can't go into next season and win that spot playing like he did last year.
No.
And he's got to be able to show he can throw. It's the Lamar Jackson effect. Lamar Jackson's first season, he ran, threw like he was trying to hit the side of a barn. And he got better and got better. I don't think he gets better. The Lamar Jackson effect was a one-time thing.
Lamar Jackson worked hard to become a thrower, and he's a great thrower of the ball.
Yeah.
I don't think
you're talking about a guy who walks off the field. So I don't see this happening. I think Daniel Jones gets the position. I think Jonathan Taylor takes that running back spot and becomes the guy he normally is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he can. He is. My last pick is Josh Jacobs. What Josh Jacobs did when Jordan Love was healthy is just uncanny. 300 carries, almost 1,400 yards. Look, his longest 38 yards, he's been able to take it to the house. He had. It seemed like the second part of that year when Jordan Love was healthy, he was scoring touchdowns left and right.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think look, I don't think they got much help in the draft. The wide receiver core is basically the same. I think what you're going to see is more of this. Put Josh Jacobs in my tier 1. Like, once again, if I get Josh Jacobs at the end of round 2, early 3 in a snake draft, I am excited because of what he did.
I'm looking
last year. Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, I think that's the value pick.
My tier 2, Josh Jacobs in the number 1 position in tier 2, 1,329 yards, 15 touchdowns, 342 catches, 1 touchdown. That's impressive.
Yes.
And at his current age, I guess you would expect a slight decline. He's not declining at all. He actually looked like he was getting stronger as the season went on. Number 2, this is where things change completely from what everybody else has in there. James Cook is my number 2 position in tier 2. He had 1,009 yards, but he had 16 touchdowns, 258 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns, and that's in 16 games. So he's going to be their offense. They didn't do anything to shore up that receiving core over there. They got like Josh Palmer or what. He's no better than what they had before. The next position is Achane, for all the reasons you just spoke about. He could have as many rushing yards as he does receiving yards and touchdowns on both. Then I go CMC, only because I'm not sure if he's going to have to be eased back into it over maybe 3 games and have to share the ball. If he carries the ball from day 1, he's going to move up. I'm not drafting him because of the injury worry with him. But and then goes Kyron Williams, who did nothing but win games for people last year. 1,299 yards rushing, 14 touchdowns, and 2 receiving touchdown, and 182 yards receiving. So Kyron Williams is my last guy in tier 2.
Yep. What do you got?
I got old Run CMC as my number 1 in tier 2. And I got faith, I believe, that the man who spent his entire life devoted to wanting to be a running back in the NFL comes back this year, boots to the ground, and shows them he may miss a step, but not too many. Mm-hmm. Next, I got Devin Achane. I mean, look, I doubted this guy last year. I'm not going to lie to you. And all proven wrong the whole time. Mm-hmm. Through his college career, he took on injury after injury. He came into the NFL with a season, got injured. He was out. Mostert was in. And then last year, bulked up some, no injury whatsoever, carried the team on his back. I think Devin Achane has the opportunity, honestly, to creep up even into the 1 tier. But again, it goes to a lot of factors. Like Chad said earlier, if there's no passing game, all they're going to do is smash the running back in the box. Because last year, they couldn't pass the ball to save their life. Mm-hmm. And all they could do was run, and they wore Devin Achane out. And honestly, I'm surprised he didn't get an injury because of the way he was treated. Yeah. Next, Josh Jacobs. I mean, he's reliable. It didn't matter if he was with the Raiders, or he's Green Bay. Honestly, I think Green Bay did as good as they did last year just because of Josh Jacobs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no
right?
doubt.
Because even though Jordan Love has some talent at the quarterback position, they couldn't figure out their wide receiver game to save their life.
Nope.
I mean, it looks like they're running around with a bunch of wide receiver number 3s the whole time. Mm-hmm. And Josh Jacobs, he's the one that came through clutch, a lot of touchdowns, running the ball, controlled the field. All right, so number 4, Ashton Danty. Through his college career, all his abilities that he did. The Raiders, they need a running back. This guy is the running back they've always wanted. He's no Zamir White. I mean, we know that, right?
Thank God.
So he's going to be the number 1 running back on that team. Based off the old Seattle team, because that's what all they did. That's what they did was rebuild the old Seattle team. And the way they treated Beast Mode, I got 100% faith they're going to treat Ashton Danty the same way, and he's going to get those yards. He's going to get plenty of touchdowns. Geno Smith is no slouch in the pocket.
Nope.
So, I mean, there's no way with the way this looks on paper, Ashton Danty shouldn't even get close to 1,500 yards, maybe 1,300 yards going into next year. And last but not least, with Joe's theory, Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams, all he did was score for his team last year, and amazingly so. He got plenty of yards throughout the year. He's able to catch, downfield, and he's able to control the box. And I mean, he's just reliable. So those are mine in my tier 2.
Tier 3.
I just want to say something. If you're out there, tier 4 and 5 and 6, we're going to have to talk about people who are going to jump up, because obviously Omari and Hampton and some of these Judkins and some of these guys are going to jump up. And but Ashton Danty in best ball leagues right now is going as soon as 7. So if you're playing fantasy football and you like him, that round 2 is where you better get him. Because start looking now, because once the reports come out of OTA about what he's doing, like they're already underneath the microscope. Chip Kelly has him standing up, changed his stance different than it was in college. Reports like that are already coming out, and this
that bothers me.
It bothers me too, but it bothers me too. But this stuff came out.
I do, because if you change a player's play style,
it changes
everything.
Yeah, it changes the way they see the field.
It may change his vision. Yeah, but all this is underneath the microscope. But I'm telling you right now, if you're looking at Ashton Danty and you're like, oh, I may try to get somebody else before him and let him slip by. Best ball leagues right now before OTAs and everything, he's going 7th. So he's in this tier 1. He is, and he's going to be the alpha over there in Las Vegas, right? So
you mean tier 2?
For you, okay. Yeah, in tier 2 for me, yes, but he's a number 1 running back. He is a number 1 fantasy running back right now.
They don't have nobody in the back.
They don't have nothing else.
They ain't got nobody in the backfield with him that's really going to take over. No one's going to take that spot.
Yep.
He's going to be a 3-down back.
Right? Yeah. My tier 3 is going to be a little shocking, because y'all have some players in there I don't include in mine. Okay, but number 1, I have Bucky Irving. That he went from the first couple weeks 7 yards per carry to getting 15 and 16. Okay, second year in Tampa Bay, all the weapons are coming back. Plus, they're going to get another receiving threat. The field's going to be more open for him. Remember, there was a time whenever those wide receivers were hurt, Evans was hurt, that whole team was demolished, and it was Baker and him delivering wins. If they're all healthy again, this just means he has more room to run. Okay, I love Bucky Irving. Okay, it was really tough for me not to put him in that next tier. Chase Brown. I love Chase Brown going forward this year. I love that offense. You know what's changed in Cincinnati on offense? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I'm telling you what, if they lose Trey Hendrickson, that offense may see the field more. Okay? Chase Brown, just give him more opportunities. Because remember, early in the season, it was Zach Moss. It was a Zach Moss show, and Chase Brown went and took that job. This is him getting the job day 1 in the backfield, catching passes, running the ball with one of the most elite quarterbacks in the league, with 2 of the most dynamic receivers. All he can do is go up, if you ask me. That's all he can do. Number 3, real shock, Alvin Kamara. 900 yards behind a team that was decimated. He's going to have a rookie quarterback. If he doesn't have a rookie quarterback, he'll have a second-string quarterback, because I do think Spencer Rattler was going to win that job.
Spencer Rattler's a backup at best, though.
I don't care. They're going to have to lean on the running game. I have no faith in their backups.
Nope.
Backup running back, they got a rookie. I have no faith, right? Neil may be the second running back, okay? But I have no faith in the backup. Listen to this offensive line. Talise Fuaga at right tackle, Eric McCoy at center. You move Penning to left guard. You have Cesar Ruiz at right guard, and you just took Banks. You have a first-round pick on every part of that offensive line. Philadelphia had the best offensive line last year, okay? The Saints ain't going to have much to hang their hat on, but that offensive line is going to be it. So Kamara is going to be this team's identity. He is going to move up. I have him as a top 10 fantasy running back this year.
Kamara's been that team's identity for a couple of years.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yep. And besides from that, you know who else? Another surprise? Kenneth Walker. I hear what they're saying in Seattle, and I love what they're saying. All right, Jackson Smith-Njigba's there. Sam Darnold's there. You're going to have to lean on Kenneth Walker. Kubiak came over. He's going to run that wide zone. That offensive line's great. The defense is better than it was last year, and that was a 10-win team. They are going to lean on Kenneth Walker. And I think his health is just a fluke. Like, I know he's great. I know he's a great player. Like, let's get 17 weeks out of him. Because I like how y'all commented on Kyron Williams, but I don't have faith in Kyron Williams this year. I don't. He had 16 touchdowns. He's so touchdown dependent. His longest touchdown run was 13 yards. No, not with Adams coming over. Devontae Adams is going to eat touchdowns in the red zone. I just don't see it. Kyron Williams is a maybe tier 4 to me. I think he takes a slump this year.
No way.
I think he takes a slump.
He had 1,300 yards on that team last year.
And they also drafted a running back this draft.
I understand.
They drafted Jarquez Hunter.
Yeah, but they've got a backup running back with him that is number 1 too as well. But here's the thing. Devontae Adams is going to eat in the red zone. Correct. But so did Cooper Kupp and so did Puka Nacua.
They were hurt.
Without your running game, those wide receivers aren't no good either. You got to have the threat at the running game. They're going to have to pose that threat all the time just so they can get those wide receivers open.
If he scores only 10 touchdowns, his fantasy is just going to get depleted. And I feel the same way with James Cook. James Cook is a tier 4 because I don't like the noise coming out of Buffalo with all this contract talk. He's 26. He's on a rookie deal. I say Buffalo's going to say play, and they're going to get rid of him because they know what they got behind him. I really firmly believe that's the plan.
My tier 3, Bucky Irving. I do get worried about Rachaad White, but I think they're going to be shopping him later in the year.
Yeah,
if someone gets hurt on another team.
Right now, he's got a lot of value.
His numbers weren't great. 11, 22, and 8 touchdowns. He didn't do anything in the receiving besides 392 yards, 0 touchdowns. I like Chase Brown. I like him on a 100% throwing team, kind of like Jamir Gibbs with Detroit. They run the ball all the time. This team, the Bengals, they throw the ball all the time, and this dude is still relevant. I mean, he didn't have 1,000 yards last year, but he only played 16 games. He would have got it. He had 990 yards.
He was fighting for the position earlier in the
season.
Yeah. So, and 360 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns. That is one talented running back right there. And if I have to get him, say in the 4th round or something, I'm good with that. 5th round maybe if you're playing against a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing. And then I have Ashton Danty because of changing his way of standing in the backfield when he's done that his whole life the other way. He's an unproven commodity, which you guys know I like proven commodities. I don't put a lot of stock into drafted nobody, nothing, because a lot of them fail. I don't know why. I mean, you could put some on a good team and they fail.
And a lot of that's transferring over from college to NFL. It goes with every position there is. That it's like I said in the previous videos is that I was worried about Jaden Daniels. I didn't think his playability was going to pass, was going to go over. Mm-hmm. But it did. Luckily it did. But, I mean, he runs straight up. Any other a quarterback or running back that runs straight up 9 times out of 10 don't make it.
I mean, Ashton Danty on my list.
As skinny as he was, he figured he'd get hurt.
Yeah, so, you thought he would be.
So same thing you're talking about. You got a guy that you're going to change the way he's played his whole time. And now, can he become as efficient playing a whole different way?
I think he's going to be great. I just don't know how great yet. Then I got the old man, Joe Mixon. He doesn't do nothing but just deliver, kind of like Derrick Henry does every year. When he's in there, he delivers. 1,016 yards, 11 touchdowns, 309 receiving yards, and 1 touchdown. And he only played 14 games. Joe Mixon is that offense. They got Nico. They got whatever. I don't care. Everything runs through Joe Mixon.
I am so down on him this year.
I am not.
I am down on him this year. I am so down on him this year.
I start mine off with James Cook. He is the second identity on that team. There's not a definitive wide receiver on that team. They did not rely on their tight ends last year. It was Josh Allen and James Cook back and forth all season. I don't think they changed that. I know there's a contract talk, but
it's going to be hard to pay him. You paid your quarterback $250 million.
Yeah.
He's not going to score 17 touchdowns again this year. It's impossible.
And, he's not also, last year he would be in my tier 2 if we took his stats. But going into next year, he's in my tier 3. Next, Bucky Irving. He becomes more of a focal point of the team. I really, truly believe that. I'm with y'all. I think Rachaad White gets chopped around. It would behoove them to do that. Yeah. Honestly, you could pick up just about any other running back to play number 2 to give you the same value you were getting out of Rashad White.
They've got one that's just as good as Rashad White.
That's what I'm saying. So you're not holding on to him does nothing for you. Relying on Bucky Irving, making him a bigger focal point on the team because, I mean, your wide receiver core is so talented right now, healthy. Man, because this is one of the teams I want to watch next year. Mm-hmm. I want to see, I mean, I'm not even a Bucks fan, but I want to see them play. I want to see what they have. I mean, and Baker Mayfield, of course, he makes a lot of that. Mm-hmm. Number 3 for me is going to be Chase Brown.
Yep.
I mean, it's the same stats. I mean, he proved himself last year. He wanted that position. He took it over, and they wanted to give it to Zach Moss. They did. They gave it to him. They wanted to make him the guy because of some of the things he'd done in the past for other teams. Didn't work out. Chase Brown came in. He said, "You know what? I need my opportunity," and he didn't fail. Mm-hmm. Same thing Joe said. Passing. I mean, he's the guy. I mean, he's there. I can't tell you how many times I watched Joe Burrow sit back in the pocket, look for his receivers, and throw it right over, check down right over the line. And there's Chase Brown. Gone.
Already running full speed.
That's it. Behind that, it's going to be Joe Mixon. Same exact thing Joe said. I mean, the Texans hurt all season long. Mm-hmm. And the only guy that was reliable the whole time was Joe Mixon.
And they don't have anybody any good behind him.
They have nothing. So he's going to keep his position. He's going to get his touches. I think the team gets better, which, if your receiving core gets better, it relieves a lot of pressure from your running backs, which allows them to function better.
And they worked on their offensive line.
Yeah,
through both.
I thought their offensive line got worse.
You think it got worse?
They lost Laramie Tunsil. They lost Kenyon Green. They tried to fill these holes up. This guy, the last 7 weeks, say what you will, Joe Mixon was terrible. The last 7 weeks, he was terrible. Go deep dive into stats. He was terrible the last 7 weeks. You know what? They lost their play caller. They got a new offensive coordinator. I have no continuity. You know what continuity I have with them? C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins, and that's about all I'm dependent on.
That team even played games where all they did was run the ball with Joe Mixon because they didn't have any other option.
They didn't have any other.
And
when Nico and
I know for a fact because I got him in our dynasty, and we're talking fantasy points. We're not talking about win or lose. That guy creates fantasy points all year long.
Yeah.
I don't think he changes.
Yeah, so we have to be.
Everybody thought he was going to go from the Bengals to the Houston Texans and gets worse. He got better.
Yeah, so we're looking at what does this guy do for your fantasy team? If I have Joe Mixon on my team, who I get in the 6th round, 7th round.
That's where I'm taking. Maybe 7. I'll take 7.
Round,
I'm not taking.
It doesn't matter if I get him in the 5th round. He doesn't come out unless he's injured. He stays right there in my flex.
I think he gets a touchdown almost every game. But he's definitely good for points.
But there's some guys who can definitely move up. I mean.
So my last guy is not like yours.
Oh wow!
But it's one of your favorites. It's Chuba Hubbard.
Oh man, why'd you? You just stole my thunder, man.
Hey, so Chuba last year, he became the focal point on that team. I think the team got better.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't think Dowdle coming over makes his fantasy points worse. I think it makes it better. I think they developed this team, and this team's going to get the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young, they gave him extra help this year. He gets better. The team gets better. The passing game gets better, and I think Chuba Hubbard gets the same amount, if not more, fantasy points than he did last year.
Okay.
And he won so many games for people last year.
He was fantastic last year.
He was, but I think it's because of his value. I think it's because of his value. I don't think
Dowdle's not coming in and changing nothing.
Who?
Rico
Dowdle.
He'll be a change of pace.
Yeah, he'll change base. He'll catch the ball.
Yeah,
but I'm saying he's not going to take away from Chuba nothing.
It's Chuba's job.
It's his job.
I agree with you, but I think what you had with Chuba was, remember when you were drafting, you drafted him in the 8th or 9th round last year, and you said, I'm going to get half a year out of him. Well, you ended up getting a whole year. That's why he was good. Like, I like Chuba in the 8th or 9th round. I don't like him in the 5th this year.
You drafted him in the 8th or 9th round last year because of what happened the year before.
Sure. Now his value.
Now he's showing that he's more valuable than that. He is definitely, to me, more valuable than what 2 years past.
Obviously, but that's why he was so good last year. It's because of the value you got.
If you happen to catch a Carolina football game on TV, which there weren't very many.
No.
I think there might have been 2. When Chuba Hubbard got that ball, you might as well go ahead and stand up because you're going to do something with it. That dude is special. So pick your one. Pick your one guy in the lower tier who you think could move up given the right circumstance.
I got to pick one guy who I think could be a top 5 running back.
Top 4 from the lower levels.
From the low,
from 5 and below.
From somebody we didn't count.
Yep.
From somebody we didn't count.
Right. I'll go first while you guys do your.
Sure.
Tyrone Tracy Jr.
With
a new quarterback.
Okay.
With a new quarterback. New offensive scheme, of course, because the new quarterback. 839 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns last year, 284 yards receiving, and 1 touchdown. And I think that he gets 1,100 yards this year, maybe 7 touchdowns. So he can move up in 4.
Okay. You want me to pick? Look, I'm all day. I'm going back on the Breece Hall train. He only had 209 attempts last year. That offense was a train wreck. He lost his coach. Now they got some stability. They got a defensive-minded coach. Look, value, from a value standpoint, look, do I think it's going to happen? No. But does he have top 5 potential? We already know it.
I mean,
we already know it.
The last 2 years.
We already know he has top 5 potential. So if I got to pick somebody and if I'm going, hey, throwing for darts, hey, who can be a league winner past the 5th round of draft picks? Let me give you. Look. I know what he's done. I know what he's done. And if it wasn't that, I'm going to take a chance on. I know they kept Jerome Ford and all that, but I think you may see Judkins become a 3-down back in the Browns. And I don't know who's going to play quarterback. Once again, it's one of my things, like, who's going to play quarterback? Because you don't think quarterback makes a big deal. Look what Tony Pollard did with different quarterbacks last year in Tennessee. We don't know who's going to start there, which is why I don't know if I want Tony Pollard as a top 20 or top 30 running back. Mm-hmm. I got to know who the quarterback is first.
Well, on top of that, I mean, if your quarterback's a running quarterback, he's stealing away a lot of runs from your running back. Also, how he plays, how he throws, all that goes a long way. Like we were discussing earlier with Jonathan Taylor. His ability is there. His fantasy points depends on which quarterback plays.
Right.
Yeah. So Breece Hall is going to be my pick.
Yeah.
You know, even with the Braylon Allen noise and Isaiah Davis noise and all that, like,
they've got 3 good ones.
Yeah, but he's the best.
He is the best.
He is the best on that team. So yeah, who's yours?
That was Nick. Who'd you have?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I apologize.
No, that's all good. Mine's Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
You're looking for a resurgence.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all you got, man. I mean, that team, wide receiving core, kill, man. This is one of the wide receiving cores I want to see this year. I want to see what Travis Hunter can do. I want to see all what they have. Like, there is no excuse for Trevor Lawrence to lose this year. So either they get rid of him or they don't. But that means that running game has to come up. And there are people nipping at Travis Etienne's toes. Right now, he's listed in the depth charts as the number 1. And not only did he have Tank Bigsby last year nipping at his toes to take the job, now you got a lot more. You got a lot of rookies. You got Gordon behind them. Everybody,
Gordon, yep.
Yeah, they're coming for this job. So I think Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence, they got to get together. I think he has an opportunity right now to at least get tier 3.
When Etienne, his first year, I pictured him as Matt Forte reborn, because that's the kind of game he had. I don't know what happened. I don't know if the team went away from his strengths. If they wanted to just play hardball, that's why they did the
last year was a lot of misses. Like, there was a lot of misses. Like, misses in everything.
The scheme wasn't very smart. He's always seemed to be a one cut back.
Yeah.
He can catch the ball at the backfield. He's going to have room this year. I mean, look, for what it's worth, Liam Cohen is going to bring it's a better coaching staff. It's going to be an offensive identity. What Liam Cohen's going to bring from Tampa Bay over there, I can't wait. OTAs are just starting. You know, Travis Hunter, if he catches a screen pass out there and he goes 5 yards, everybody's going to be excited about it. So, yeah, that's a really good watch, I think.
And just to let y'all know, if Judkins starts the year as running back 1, Judkins will beat out Ashton Danty as the top rookie running back.
I don't know. These guys,
Jukins is so talented, man. So talented.
but I agree with you, but they drafted a running back after him in the 4th round, and you still kept Jerome Ford.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, stacking all these.
And
rooms.
quarterbacks.
They're stacking rooms. I don't know.
And quarterback. I guess they go whatever we get because they took Judkins in the 2nd, then they took Sampson, they kept Jerome Ford, and you know what I really want to see? Like hypothetical, please let it happen. Like I like Ben Johnson in Chicago. I think Chicago is going to be good. I do not like their running back situation. I want Nick Chubb to sit out. And then when training camp comes, go sign with Chicago.
That'd be cool.
I want Nick Chubb to go to Chicago.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I think that would be fun.
That'd be
and
good.
then all the fantasy gods align. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A true pure runner.
Pure, yeah, because Swift is. I always like DeAndre Swift as a running back who can catch the ball at the backfield, but it seems like
Outside runner.
Yeah, he's never really had a nose to run in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's our 3 tiers, guys.
Yep.
All right, well, that concludes our episode on running backs. Stay tuned for our wide receivers. Till next time, I'm Nick Tate,
Joe Caldera.
I'm Shadowhack.
and we're out.
Smashmouth Footballers.
This ain't no regular thing.
Artlist.io.
I shoot my shot and it's clean. This for my city, yeah, this for my team. If you talking and talking me nice, I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right, champion. The game is in trouble. I've been in my depth for the piece of the puzzle. I got it for real. Still keep me going. I wake
Music
up
licensing reimagined.
in the field, man of the town. You've been in your fields. I'm adjusting this crown. Call me your majesty. Either that or your tragedy.